7 must-have vitamins to keep your legs strong and cramp-free after 50. The promise of a new day begins long before sunlight brushes the curtains. It starts in the silent space between dream and waking, in the moment when awareness floats up like a leaf on a still pond. Before thoughts gather, your body asks a simple question: will you meet the floor with confidence or with caution? That question travels from the crown of your head down the length of the spine and settles in the soles of your feet, where truth often arrives first. Imagine lifting one knee beneath the quilt and sliding a foot forward until toes find the edge of the mattress. Cool air drifts across skin still warm from sleep. In that instant, the nervous system runs a swift inventory. Ankles rotate, calves flex, arches stretch, all in less time than a heartbeat. If supplies inside the muscles are plentiful, the reply comes back bright and clear, like a lighthouse guiding a ship toward safe harbor: yes, we are ready. Stand tall, greet the dawn. But if the inner stores of minerals and vitamins have grown thin, the message sounds different. The calf may tighten into a terse knot, the arch may burn, the thigh may shiver with uncertainty. Those signals are not failures, they are gentle telegrams from deep inside the body saying, help us refuel before we stride into the morning. To grasp why these telegrams matter, picture an enormous oak tree perched on a hilltop, its branches splaying against restless sky. All who pass beneath marvel at its strength, yet only a few consider the quiet heroism of its roots. Plunging through layers of earth, the roots draw water, iron, and calcium from dark seams and distribute them upward so that each leaf, even the smallest, can flutter with green certainty. Now transpose that image onto your own frame. Your legs are the roots of your personal oak. They anchor balance, fuel exploration, and channel energy upward toward heart and mind. When those roots falter, when cramp or weakness creeps in, the entire canopy of daily life trembles. Tasks as ordinary as stepping over a sleeping cat or reaching for a teacup suddenly feel precarious, and adventures that once beckon with enthusiasm shrink behind curtains of doubt. Every muscle fiber inside a leg is an intricate workshop humming with continuous invention. Picture rows of tiny looms weaving threads of protein into living cloth, threads so slender they make a strand of silk look like rope. To tighten or release that cloth on command, each loom relies on sparks of energy and precise chemical messengers. The sparks derive from nutrients that arrive with breakfast, lunch, supper, and the quiet snacks tucked between. The messengers are special vitamins and minerals that guide calcium into place, usher magnesium toward relaxation duties, and instruct nerves when to ignite and when to dim. Without a steady parade of these invisible artisans, the cloth frays. Twitches appear. A midnight Charlie horse jerks the body upright, stealing restful sleep and leaving fear in its wake. Yet the remedy lies close at hand, often on the pantry shelf or ripening in a fruit bowl, waiting for a conscious invitation. Before we meet the 7 guardians who specialize in leg strength and cramp prevention, linger a moment in sensory memory. Recall a time you stood barefoot on sun-warmed sand. The grain shifted, yet balance felt effortless because muscles and nerves conversed in fluent harmony. Or picture a winning stroll through a garden center, terracotta pots in arms, calves humming with pleasant fatigue rather than screaming rebellion. Those memories serve as proof that your body knows how vitality feels and can reclaim it with thoughtful care. This episode's aim is simple: to kindle belief that every dawn still offers the possibility of such effortless grounding. By listening to the body's telegrams instead of dismissing them, by treating legs not as stubborn servants but as wise partners, you open the gate to brighter mornings and longer, more joyful days. When future episodes escort the 7 steadfast vitamins into view, remember this oak on the hill, this loom of living cloth, and this quiet question whispered each dawn by the soles of your feet: will you meet the floor with confidence? Answer yes, and the journey toward renewed strength has already begun. Dumel na prodigenie 6 sekund. Deep inside every leg lives a hidden city, buzzing with tireless artisans who never sleep. Imagine shrinking to the size of a dust mote and drifting through the wide streets of that city. Towering on either side stand strands of protein, long, glistening cables braided together like silvery ropes. They slide past one another in elegant rows, pulling and releasing in constant rhythm. Lanterns line the avenues, their glow powered by tiny sparks harvested from every wholesome bite you take. Without that glow the streets fall dim, the cables snag, and motion falters. Wander farther and you will find warehouses stuffed with calcium crystals waiting for a summons. At a whispered signal the doors swing open and the crystals pour out, flooding through corridors, binding to the ropes, triggering a mighty tug that shortens an entire muscle fiber in the blink of an eye. Another signal calls magnesium forward, ushering calcium back into storage so the ropes can loosen and prepare for the next pull. This delicate partnership between calcium and magnesium is as graceful as a dance. When one partner misses the cue, the dance floor turns chaotic, and a sudden cramp can seize the calf with shocking intensity. Along the rooftops, messengers from the bee family hurry from block to block delivering parcels of pure energy. They are nimble couriers, converting morsels of sweet apple or spoonfuls of nut butter into vibrant currency the city trades for strength. If too few of these couriers show up, the lamps burn lower, the ropes grow sluggish, and even a walk to the mailbox feels like a trek up a steep hillside. In the central square stands a crystal fountain cared for by vitamin C clear water cascades over shimmering collagen filaments, bathing them in resilience. Each filament flows outward, twining into tendons and ligaments that anchor muscle to bone, allowing knees to bend without protest and ankles to swivel without a yelp of pain. When supplies of vitamin C run low, the fountain trickles, collagen dries, and joints speak in creaks and groans that echo up staircases and linger during midnight turns beneath the quilt. The city's outer walls are guarded by vitamin E, a silent sentinel patrolling vessel after vessel to ensure blood flows like a smooth river rather than a series of slow eddies. Without that steady patrol, red cells bump and cluster, narrowing passageways, chilling toes and draining warmth from tired shins. On windy evenings you might feel the difference. With the sentinel on duty, calves remain supple and ready, even in cool night air. Above the walls, skylights open to welcome the sunshine companion, better known for shaping bone but equally vital for muscle command. When sunlight is scarce, this guardian slips into the city aboard salmon steaks, fortified oat drink, or a modest supplement chosen with professional care. Its presence sharpens each nerve's voice, ensuring instructions travel from brain to toe without static. Circling back to the dance floor, imagine what happens when all guardians arrive on time. Calcium streams forth, magnesium guides it home, the bee couriers sprint glowing paths, vitamin C's fountain rises to full height, vitamin E patrols with calm vigilance, and the sunshine ally oversees the entire scene with a broad, approving grin. The ropes, gleaming with perfect alignment, shorten and release in flawless rhythm. A step feels buoyant, a calf stretch ends in sweet relief rather than in a knot of pain, and an uphill path becomes an invitation instead of an ordeal. Yet cities thrive not only on grand systems but also on regular deliveries. Every meal is a caravan pulling into the gates. A bowl of berry-bright oats, a midday salad covered in emerald leaves and crunchy seeds, a warm stew sparkling with carrot and sweet potato, all carry crates labeled with the names of the guardians. When those caravans roll in on schedule, storehouses brim, workshops hum, and street lamps glow bright well past dusk. Picture an evening when you return from a pleasant stroll farther than you have dared in months. You kick off your shoes and expect the familiar throb, yet instead you feel a gentle warmth spreading up from the arches. The city inside your legs celebrates with lanterns and soft music because every artisan had the tools they needed. That warmth is gratitude made tangible. Remember this inner city tomorrow morning when your feet hover just above the floor. Trust that with every colorful plate, each glass of water, each mindful stretch, you are sending fresh supplies to diligent workers who already know exactly how to repair, rebuild, and ready your muscles for another day of confident adventure. Thought for a few seconds. Few sights lift the spirit like a winding path dappled by morning sun. The simple act of setting one foot before the other feels ancient, instinctive, almost sacred. Many people lean on that instinct as their single shield against age, trusting a daily walk to mend every fray beneath the skin. Walking is indeed a noble ally, yet motion on its own can become a potter's wheel spinning clay that has grown too dry. The wheel hums with purpose, hands shape a graceful vase, but cracks soon spider across the surface because the water of nourishment was missing from the mix. Picture yourself striding along a familiar lane. The rhythm of footsteps blends with birdsong, and for a while all seems well. Halfway through the loop, however, calves tighten, thighs whisper fatigue, breath grows shallow. Back home, you settle into a chair and feel a dull ache spreading like slow ink. The body has paid for that pleasant mile by drawing precious minerals from its own vault, the way a farmer might sell seed grain to buy supper, gaining relief tonight but sowing trouble for the next season. Now imagine the same walk preceded by a simple breakfast bright with color. A slice of melon glistens beside a spoonful of cottage cheese, cool and subtly sweet. Hidden within the melon's amber flesh are quick-charging sugars wrapped in moisture, perfect to slip beneath the skin and greet muscles with a friendly wave of energy. In the cottage cheese awaits a quiet choir of amino acids, eager to repair tiny tears that will appear once muscle fibers have done their joyful work. As you eat, sunlight angles through the window, gilding the meal, stirring the sunshine companion that governs calcium's steady march. Later in the morning you pause at the pantry and scatter roasted pumpkin seeds onto a handful of emerald spinach. Seeds deliver healthy fats that polish the city's roadways, making it easier for red blood cells to skate toward hungry tissues, while the spinach unfurls a banner rich in the silent architect's favorite hue. The lunch bowl glows like stained glass, and the guardians nod in appreciation. When you step onto the lane this time, Muscles greet the first hill with curiosity rather than anxiety. Each contraction pulls on tendons freshly bathed in collagen water, and joints glide as though warmed by a small hearth hidden deep within. Breath rises and falls in even waves, carrying oxygen through vessels kept sleek by vigilant vitamin E patrols. The mile passes in companionable silence, and at its end you notice something subtle and wonderful. Your mind has wandered into daydreams of places farther than this loop, of trails hugging lakeshores, of markets reached on foot instead of by idle car. Desire expands when energy feels abundant. Back at home you stretch calves against a wall and discover a pleasant glow where last week a knot used to lurk. The city inside your legs is already unloading the latest caravan, shelving supplies, drafting blueprints for stronger fibers. Water sipped during the cool down escorts magnesium to soothe any lingering sparks, while a tangy clementine finishes the job of restocking vitamin C's fountain. Movement, it turns out, is not a master builder working alone but a dance partner twirling beside nutrition. When one leads and the other follows in graceful cadence, the stage lights of vitality blaze to full brilliance. Tomorrow's path may wind a little longer, the next hill may rise a touch higher, yet your legs will accept the invitation with eagerness because the potter's clay is moist, pliable, ready to be shaped into something both sturdy and beautifully alive. Thought for a couple of seconds. Night hides its mischief behind closed eyelids. While the world drifts into dreams, countless processes of repair should unfold inside bone and muscle like a well-rehearsed nighttime ballet. Yet the performance falters when worry sneaks into the orchestra pit. One persistent thought about tomorrow's appointment or a sudden memory of an unpaid bill can rattle the conductor, keeping the mind half awake even as the body lies still. From the outside you appear to be sleeping, but inside, lights remain too bright, stagehands sprint between scenes, and the violin section of cortisol keeps sawing a frantic tune. During this restless half-sleep the city within your legs struggles to carry out scheduled maintenance. Calcium, instead of settling into bone, roams the bloodstream like tourists without a map. Magnesium, meant to soothe nerve endings, drifts away on rivers of stress hormones. B vitamin couriers slow their delivery runs, leaving lanterns dimmed along the muscle streets. Come morning, muscles that should feel refreshed report in with stiffness, as if the workers spent the night arguing over tools instead of rebuilding walls. Consider a different script for the evening, one that dims the theater properly. An hour before bedtime, the glow of television is replaced by lamplight warm as candle flame. Curtains close, cocooning the room in gentle shadow. You steep a mug of chamomile and let the steam carry hints of apple and hay, aromas proven to nudge the nervous system toward calm. As you sip, magnesium-rich dark chocolate melts on the tongue, its subtle bitterness reminding taste buds that rest can be delicious. On the nightstand a journal waits. You write down tomorrow's tasks with deliberate grace, placing each concern onto the page as a captain logs cargo before a voyage. The act frees the mind from looping through reminders, like setting down a heavy suitcase at the terminal gate. Beside the journal lies a small bottle of lavender oil. A dab on each wrist cues the limbic system that it is time to unfurl tension held in the shoulders and jaw. Before slipping under the quilt, you stand at the wall and gently press one foot behind you, stretching the calf until a sweet pull whispers along the Achilles tendon. This simple pose invites blood rich in oxygen and vitamin E to wash lingering acid from tired fibers, priming them for deeper regeneration. You breathe in for a slow count, then out for a longer one, persuading the heart to adopt a slower rhythm. When sleep finally arrives, it is dark and silent, the proper stage for the guardian's work. Vitamin D joins forces with vitamin K, guiding calcium into the sturdy beams of bone while keeping arteries as pliable as young reeds. Vitamin C mans its shimmering fountain, dousing collagen filaments in regenerative spray. Magnesium slips into neural alcoves, easing synapses into quiet so dreams can weave uninterrupted narratives. The B family restarts their courier circuit, torchlights blazing, ensuring every cell receives morning's ration of energy. Dawn finds you stirring beneath soft light. The first stretch reaches toes toward the far end of the sheet, and instead of a cramp, you feel only a gentle, expansive yawn rippling through calves and hamstrings. Feet touch the floor with assurance. The mind, free of midnight clutter, greets the day with the clarity of clear water. Sleep, you realize, is not a passive void but an active workshop where leg strength is minted and stored. Guard that workshop fiercely. When stress threatens to barge in with loud complaints, escort it politely to the journal, to lavender's fragrance, to the soothing melt of dark chocolate. Then close the doors, dim the lights, and trust the guardians. Morning will thank you with legs that stand tall, knees that bend without protest, and a spirit eager to follow the path wherever it leads. The hour has come to meet each of the 7 guardians face to face, not as dry entries in a chart but as companions with distinct personalities who travel wherever you do. Imagine standing in a sunlit conservatory whose glass walls overlook rolling meadows. One by one, the guardians push open the great wooden doors, each bringing a unique gift destined for your legs. First through the doorway strides the sunshine companion, cheeks kissed rose gold by daylight even when the sky is gray. Wherever this figure goes, bones remember their heritage of stone and steel, eager to hold weight without complaint. Yet the sunshine ally does more than harden bone. A subtle lantern dangles from one hand, guiding nerve impulses along vast highways that run from mind to muscle. When the lantern is bright, contractions fire on cue and release on schedule, turning each step into a firm handshake with the earth. The ally winks and reminds you that light stored in fatty fish or fortified milk can stand in for clouded skies. The next arrival rustles like pages of an old songbook. This is the Spark Ensemble, a lively troupe cloaked in the tawny hues of grains and the russet warmth of lentils. Their voices blend into chords that feed every cell's power station. They carry satchels filled with instructions on mood, memory, and balance, and they make sure nerves slip through their tasks without frayed edges. One singer in the chorus wraps messages for the spinal cord in silky insulation, preventing static on the line. Another keeps red blood cells youthful and generous with oxygen, so that calves never feel deserted on a steep hill. Together, they bow with theatrical flair and take their place beside the sunshine companion. Now the citrus weaver drifts in wearing a cloak that smells of morning orchards after rain. Pale threads of collagen glimmer in nimble fingers, ready to fasten muscle to bone the way rigging secures a tall ship's sails. Knees enjoy the craftsmanship most, for the weaver patches microscopic tears before discomfort learns your name. A smile spreads across radiant lips, and a basket arrives brimming with peppers the color of sunset, berries like tiny sapphires, slivers of bright kiwi. Each morsel promises swifter healing and joints willing to dance long after daylight fades. A hush falls as the velvet river keeper enters, quiet as dusk on a lake. In gloved hands rests a slender vial that prevents red blood cells from clustering like barges in a narrow canal. You sense toes warming already, as if invisible embers had been scattered through your socks. The keeper prefers almonds tucked into pockets, creamy avocado spread on rye, and deep greens that smell faintly of forest floor. With a cordial bow, this guardian takes up watch near the garden door, ensuring the inner river never freezes nor floods. Then appears the silent architect, dressed in the deep emerald of midsummer leaves. Measuring tapes made of soft vine coil at the waist, and chalk lines of calcium float midair, marking where fresh lattice should rise. The architect's eyes hold the calm of ancient temples, seeing exactly where bone needs fortification and where arteries must remain supple. A tray of herbs is set down, parsley, basil, moss-green spinach, and the architect nods, content that raw materials for construction lie within arm's reach. The lanterns overhead flicker brighter as the lighthouse guardian climbs the stairs, carrying a beacon that glows with ember and gold. This keeper acts as sentinel for new muscle fibers, encouraging them to multiply like seedlings after spring rain. Under the warm beam, immune scouts patrol repaired tissue, clearing away debris that might otherwise stiffen movement. Carrots roasted until their sugars caramelize, a humble sliver of liver pâté, and pumpkin steeped in broth, these provide oil for the beacon's flame. Last through the arch strides the magnesium peacemaker, steps silent yet purposeful. A cloak of twilight drapes broad shoulders. Wherever this guardian passes, clenched jaws release, shoulders lower, and calf muscles unknot as though exhaling a long-held breath. The peacemaker scatters gifts of dark cocoa, whispers of pumpkin seed, steam from baths where Epsom crystals have dissolved like small miracles. The aroma alone is enough to coax the heart into a slower cadence ideal for restoration. With the seven assembled, the conservatory hums. You watch as they converse without words, each aware that leg strength depends on their collaboration rather than their individual talents. The sunshine companion nods to the silent architect, agreeing to ferry calcium precisely where blueprints dictate. The citrus weaver hands coils of collagen to the lighthouse, ensuring that new muscle fibers anchor firmly. The river keeper and the peacemaker share a knowing glance, recognizing that smooth circulation and relaxed tissue form two sides of one coin. They do not demand lavish banquets or exotic rarities. Their preferred offerings are humble: a spoonful of nut butter stirring through porridge, a bowl of beans simmering beside sweet tomato, leaves of chard wilting into garlicky olive oil, a mug of warmed oat milk beneath dimmed evening lamps. In these everyday choices you become host to a council perpetually drafting policies of vigor, mobility, and calm. Imagine now an ordinary afternoon transformed by their labor. You step outside to water potted herbs on the terrace. Knees bend with subtle grace, hips pivot without complaint, calves lengthen then spring as if powered by coiled silk. The watering can, once a token weight, feels light. The simple motion of lifting, tipping, and replacing becomes a small poem of balance. A breeze lilts through nearby pines, and you pause to savor its cool hush. Within your legs, guardians exchange satisfied glances, mission in progress. Evening finds you seated near a low table, cracking pistachios while pages of an old novel rustle gently beneath your fingers. The magnesium peacemaker smiles from the rim of a porcelain cup where cocoa's dark perfume rises. As twilight deepens and the novel's last paragraph glimmers beneath reading light, muscle fibers loosen, tendons sigh, blood glides as serenely as a moonlit river. When you finally extinguish the lamp, footfalls across the bedroom carpet carry only quiet certainty. Legs fold into bed with no hidden twinge waiting to ambush the drift into sleep. The guardians fade into the background, yet their vigilance continues through every sleeping breath. Somewhere in the hush, collagen stitches tighten, new bone crystals set, nerves polish their silver pathways, and muscle cells rehearse tomorrow's steps beneath the steady glow of an inner lighthouse. Thus ends your formal introduction to the 7 companions. They ask little, give much, and follow wherever you lead. Honor them with color on the plate, sunlight on the skin, laughter in the lungs, and rest cradled in darkness. In return, they will keep the magnificent machinery of your legs humming strong and free, ready to claim each new path the dawn reveals. Transformation rarely arrives escorted by trumpets. It slips in quietly, hiding inside moments so ordinary they almost escape notice. One morning you bend to pick up the slipper that slid beneath the bed and realize your hand touches the floor without a groan from your lower back. Another afternoon you step off a curb, instinctively expecting the ankle wobble that used to ripple fear up your spine, yet land smooth as an egret settling on water. These small victories gather like loose pearls until, suddenly, you hold an unexpected strand of confidence. The first pearl may appear in the kitchen. You reach for a skillet on the high shelf, half prepared for the familiar shoulder pinch, and instead feel nothing but a tidy stretch followed by steady strength. Muscles in the upper leg brace, spine lengthens, arm lifts, and the pan glides down in one graceful sweep. That ease was minted during countless nights when the lighthouse guardian shone on new tissue and the citrus weaver soaked tendons in fresh collagen, all while you slept unaware. Another pearl hides in the rhythm of errands. Perhaps you decide to leave the car in the driveway and walk to the nearest market. The route includes a short incline that once demanded a pause halfway, under guise of admiring the view when in truth lungs fought for calmer tides. Today you crest the hill carrying 2 modest bags, noticing only that your breath has deepened rather than quickened. The Spark Ensemble's energy parcels, delivered meal by meal, have filled each muscle fiber's pantry. The River Keeper maintains easy flow, the Peacemaker hushes stray tension, and the Sunshine Companion keeps nerve signals crisp. You arrive home with groceries intact, and with an unexpected reservoir of still unused vigor. Pearls also form within conversations. A neighbor remarks on the brightness in your stride, the relaxed line of your shoulders. You catch yourself answering with animated gestures that once would have tired the arms. Laughter rises effortlessly, buoyed by a heart no longer tugged downward by fatigue. Inside, the silent architect is already reinforcing bone to meet this new appetite for motion, laying calcium bricks along hip and ankle corridors as if preparing a grand ballroom for future dances. Even the mind collects its share of gems. Afternoon fog, that drifting haze that used to cloud names and misplace keys, now burns off more quickly. B-vitamin couriers keep neural lanterns trimmed and lit, magnesium soothes crackling wires, vitamin E's patrol clears tiny blockages that would slow thought before it reaches the tongue. You notice the change when a grandchild asks for help with a tricky puzzle and the solution unfolds in your head like a well-practiced map. Of course, not every day shines equally. Storm fronts roll in, humidity wraps joints in damp blankets, a sleepless night sneaks past the sentries. Yet even on those heavier mornings the baseline has shifted upward. You stretch, sip water, choose a breakfast sparkling with berries and nuts, and feel the body rally. Guardians whisper among themselves, adjusting tasks, accelerating repair, confident now in a rhythm proved over many weeks. Pay close attention to these subtle triumphs, they are compass points indicating that the path you walk is the right one. Celebrate without fanfare. Pause on a park bench to savor quiet leg muscles ready for farther trails, run a warm hand along the curve of a calf newly free of knots, breathe gratitude into ribs that expand with ease. Each acknowledgement polishes another pearl, stringing experience into a necklace of living proof. Twilight brings its own chance for reflection. You settle into a favorite chair, palms resting on thighs that hum with leftover warmth from the day's excursions. Across the room, lamplight paints soft gold on the wall, almost the same hue as the Sunshine Guardian's cloak. In that glimmer you sense all 7 companions lingering nearby, content yet vigilant. They did not require a marathon or an extravagant diet, they asked only for modest constancy, plates rich in color, movement born from joy, sleep treated as sacred, and stress ushered out like smoke through an open window. Tomorrow another pearl will likely appear, a slightly quicker climb up porch steps, a longer spell kneeling among garden rows, an unplanned detour through a wooded lane simply because curiosity overruled caution. Gather these moments. Let them remind you that rebuilding is not a single leap but a steady weaving, thread over thread, until the fabric of strength lies smooth beneath every step. The journey to lasting strength does not end with polished pearls or triumphant hills. It stretches forward like a winding river, changing with the seasons but always eager to reach wider horizons. Vitality asks for a quiet promise, renewed each dawn, that you will keep tending the invisible garden where the 7 guardians work. Some mornings that promise feels effortless, all sunlight and jaunty steps. Other mornings it must be spoken through a yawn while rain patterns the window. Both are valuable, because the true measure of resilience is not perfection but persistence. Imagine an unexpected trip that pulls you from familiar routines. The suitcase snaps shut on clothes chosen in a rush, and the highway unspools beneath tires while clouds pile heavy overhead. At the roadside cafe the menu leans on fried comfort and sugary distraction. Here the guardians face their first test away from home. You scan the options, spot a bowl of soup shimmering with carrot coins and fresh herbs, and choose it over golden fries. That single choice slips vitamin A and the citrus weaver back into the day's ledger. A small carton of milk nudges the sunshine ally into action despite the brooding sky. A pocket's worth of almonds becomes the river keeper's passport through the afternoon. By nightfall, cramped behind the steering wheel, you step out and find legs still light enough to stroll the quiet street before sleep. Another week, storm clouds gather not in the sky but in conversation. A sibling's health scare rings the phone, worry flares, tasks multiply. Sleep tries to slip away again. This is when the magnesium peacemaker earns its title. A warm bath swirls with mineral salts while low music hushes the room. Shoulders drift lower, breath deepens, and the gates of rest swing open despite the mind's attempt to pace the floor. The next morning may arrive sooner than you wish, yet calves meet the floor without revolt, proof that even a shortened night can heal when guardrails of calm are in place. There will also be seasons of bright abundance, when markets spill over with peaches and tomatoes, when daylight lingers well past supper, when old friends suggest a weekend trek along ridgelines lit by heather. On such wide-open days the guardians all but dance beside you. Bones feel hollow as swallows yet strong as bridge trusses. Muscles ripple beneath skin with a quiet song. Nerves conduct messages so cleanly that balance maneuvers across narrow stones as though guided by an inner gyroscope. These high moments are not luck, they are harvest, drawn from countless earlier evenings when you chose a stretch instead of another episode, water instead of soda, a laugh instead of a sigh. Pause now and place both hands on your thighs. Feel the warmth blooming under your palms, the steady pulse of blood navigated by the river keeper, the subtle ripple of muscle fibers maintained by the lighthouse guardian and the citrus weaver. Beneath those layers, the silent architect has laid fresh scaffolding, calcium crystals aligned like stars in a clear night sky. And deeper still, marrow hums with quiet power, fed by sparks from the bee ensemble and protected by the ever-vigilant sunshine companion. Whisper a promise to that intricate orchestra, you will keep feeding it color, keep granting it motion, keep wrapping it in the velvet of sleep, keep opening windows so worry can drift out with the stale air. The oath need not be grand. It can live in ordinary gestures, a squeeze of lemon over steamed greens, an impromptu dance while waiting for water to boil, a 2-minute pause to watch clouds drift instead of refreshing headlines. One evening, perhaps months from now, a grandchild will tug your hand toward the far end of a playground. Without thinking you will jog beside that bright comet of energy, heels kicking up small sprays of sand. Mid-stride you may catch yourself grinning at the simple miracle that your legs answer joy with joy. In that moment the river of the journey will curve, and you will glimpse how far upstream you once stood, uncertain and stiff, before deciding to invite 7 humble guardians into everyday life. The river keeps flowing. Let it. Step into the current each morning, buoyed by faith in small choices. Trust that when dusk settles, those choices will have carried you farther downstream than you imagined possible, toward places where laughter echoes against high stone and every path, no matter how steep, feels like an open invitation.